Alright everybody, Kyle here, and in today's video I want to be going over the quality of video from my Galaxy S6 and seeing if it's a viable option for carrying around with me for video and vlogging purposes. And so the phone that I'm using right now is the Essential phone, and my biggest gripe about this phone, like, it's really great, battery life is awesome, the cellular connection is fantastic, the screen's great, the brightness is fine. Biggest gripe is the camera on it. The regular software for it isn't the best. So I did download the Google APK for their camera, and it improves it so much better. It brings in electronic stabilization for the images, which helps out a lot, because a lot of the shots I was getting before with the native software was getting a bit shaky, blurry. So even the shots that I know would have been good otherwise didn't turn out so good. So having the Google APK, the Google camera on this phone, makes a world of difference. But the phone that I came from, being the the Galaxy S6, this one, it can record full 4K. It has optical and electronic image stabilization for full HD video. If you shoot 1440p or up, then you don't get the that stabilization, but that's what you get for recording a bigger file size. And then even with the front camera, it can record 1440p, which is really nice, because even if you're planning on exporting in 1080p, you can just downscale the footage, which will make it look that much sharper. So what I want to do is test out and see how this phone holds up as basically a camcorder. So if I had this in my pocket, or I throw this in my backpack, is it going to be a good stand-in camera for when I don't have this? Because this is something that I can slip in with like a couple of my small field notes. Look at this. Like, this is my little journal thing that I carry around with me everywhere. This is the phone. Basically the same size. I can fit in the same pocket if I wanted them to. So being able to carry this around with me for if a situation occurs, that could be quite nice. It stopped raining, so I'm going to go on a bit of a walk and see how this works. So everything you're going to see recorded for the rest of the video is going to be coming from the S6. Yeah, so it's a pretty mild day today. It's like, what, January 21st, and yeah, the other day I was outside in a hoodie and it's nice. But today there have been pretty intense winds, so a lot of lower mainland Vancouver and the island have also gotten power outages and stuff. So yeah, that's not the best, but luckily I didn't get hit. But the winds have been pretty crazy, so we'll see if that really affects the microphone level at all. And then right now I'm just walking with the phone in my hand, and already this is like way lighter than even that camera that I have. Okay, it is super windy, and now I'm by a pretty big intersection, so we'll see how the noise of the cars and stuff sounds. But one thing that I did notice that you have to take into account is with rotation on the phones, is if you're vertical enough when you hit record, it is going to be recording in the vertical mode, so the video is just going to be like sideways, so everything's going to be like regular view. But then you're gonna have like the huge bars on the either side of it, unless you want to do some really bad cropping. So being able to pay attention and make sure that you are the right plane of view before you hit record is going to be pretty big, because I was already recording a couple of clips where I had hit the record button and didn't realize that I was recording in the vertical form, and oh my god, it's cold. It's not too bad, like temperature wise, but it is windy. I do have this mount for the phone, so if we put it on, okay, so now I have it on the just the tripod with the phone clamp, and it gives you a really nice visual, because I fit in the frame totally. You can see around me, which is nice. Where are the mountains? Like, I live in Vancouver, there are mountains over there, but no, not today, they're gone. But with the wide angle lens paired with being on the just like the arm extension with like the tripod and everything, like this is me holding it out all the way, Like, it's a pretty fair distance. The only thing is with the power button and the volume rocker, I can't put the clamp so that the camera is more centered to the tripod. So when I'm holding it, it is off frame a bit. So I'd have to hold it just off to the side a bit if I wanted to be more in center frame, which isn't the biggest deal. And with it being a smartphone, I can see exactly what I'm looking at right on the screen, so that's always a pleasure. Alright, so I just got back in. I'm still in my outside gear because I want to warm up. It was super windy and pretty cold out there. I'm transferring the files from the camera. I could use Google Photos, but I don't know if that'll degrade the quality of the image at all, so just being able to plug it in and transfer it the old-fashioned way is fine by me. So I'm just going to be watching back the footage and seeing how it looks once it's on a bigger screen, and then also just like the audio quality. And to be perfectly honest, the already just the audio quality, even with the wind sitting in the park, it sounds pretty good. The image is really nice, especially with it being a front-facing camera. Yeah, it's pretty much a really good image quality, especially for being outdoors, and then with it being nice light, with it being a smartphone camera, it is going to have poor low light performance because the sensor is so small for a camera that's in your back pocket, and be able to record with this sort of quality with the front-facing camera. That's perfect. It works so well. On the back camera, that stuff isn't as sharp, but if I needed to get some slow motion footage, then yeah, that definitely does the trick. Although I do want to try shooting in the high resolutions and downscaling it to see if I can get a better image that way, because being closer up you can pick up more detail with the sensors that are in the phones, but further detail that's further away, it's not going to be able to keep that information as well, so it's not going to be as sharp. So having a high resolution and downscaling it will allow you to keep more of the information. So it'll be interesting to see if it's a good compromise for that stabilization. Overall, I think that being able to use the S6 as a vlogging camera, it's quite viable, especially like the front-facing camera is. It works quite well. The camera angle, I mean, just the wide angle lens is super nice. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you for watching. I am going to be doing more testing with this in the future, possibly comparing it with the Essential phone now that I have the Google APK on it, seeing how it holds up with its electronic stabilization and if that transfers over to video and stuff like that. But that's for another time. Thanks again for watching and stay tuned.